Hi, my name is Carolyn Bianco, and today I will be presenting a plan to build a new themed land at the Disneyland Paris Resort. Before I dive into the proposal for this new themed land, I'd like to talk more about the Disneyland Paris Resort as a whole first. So the resort was opened in 1992 first with the Disneyland Paris theme park, and then in 2002 the Walt Disney Studios park was opened. Now both parks are owned and operated by the Euro Disney SCA company, which is a French company that the Walt Disney Company owns a 40% stake in. Since its 22 years of existence, the Disneyland Paris Resort has only generated profit in 8 out of its 22 years. So the debt and net losses that have been accumulating are the result of low park guest attendance. This low park guest attendance can be attributed to the fact that Disneyland Paris is built in a land that historically has castles. And the concept of putting an Americanized castle in a land that is full of castles already seems kind of silly. Now, the proposal for this new themed land would be focused around the 2006 Pixar animated film Cars. In the film Cars, the movie is centered around the town called Radiator Springs. Now, Radiator Springs is a small southwestern desert-like town that has the historic US Route 66 running through it. Now, since the desert is not typical of the European geography, placing a new Cars land based on Radiator Springs creates this unusual factor that Europeans are just not used to. And because of this unusual factor, this will draw more park guests into the Walt Disney Studios park. The goal of establishing this new Cars land in the Walt Disney Studios park is to create more park guest attendance for the park and generate more revenue overall for the resort. So the Paris Cars Land will be based off of the California Adventure Cars Land that was built back in 2012 at the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. Since opening in 2012, the Cars Land at California Adventure has greatly increased park attendance at that park as well as the Disneyland park. In order for this Cars land to be built, about 12 acres needs to be carved out of the Walt Disney Studios park to make way for a replica Cars land and Radiator Springs. Now, Cars land will be located in front of the Hollywood Tower of Terror and alongside the Studio Tram tour ride. Now, placing it in this area is essential because it makes it easy for guests to access. So a 5 to 7 year timeline is needed to construct this Paris Cars land. The 5 to 7 year time period is needed not only for the general construction of Cars land, it's also needed for ride design and training new employees as well. The budget for this project will be between $1.1 billion and $1.5 billion. Now, the California Cars land cost $1.1 billion, but a little cushioning is needed in case any economic factors plague Europe. So the budget will be divided up into 3 main categories. The first category being general construction, which involves the design and layout of Radiator Springs in general. So that means any decorations, any gift shops, and any restaurants that will be built will fall under the general construction category. Now, the second category involves ride construction, and that involves any amusement rides that are going to be built in Cars Land, which we plan on building 2 new rides. One ride will be a more high-thrill car race ride, and the other will be sort of like a flying saucer type of ride for more younger audiences. And the last category will involve employees. So more employees are going to be needed to occupy Cars Land and to help out guests, so any costs are going to be related to training new employees and hiring new employees for areas like food service and entertainment as well. Even though building Cars Land sounds like a great idea, there are going to be some potential challenges that we run into. One of these potential challenges is increasing the debt that the Disneyland Paris Resort has already accumulated. The second potential challenge is public reception, which can be tied along to increasing debt. There is a possibility that Europeans will not react to this new Cars land favorably because it's too unusual, and that putting a desert setting in France just doesn't seem like the right type of idea to target that European audience. However, we believe that Cars Land will be a great addition to the Walt Disney Studios park, and we believe that it will draw the interest and curiosity of Europeans everywhere to visit.